Hey guys, Rob Murphy from Holistic Healing Choices here. Now, today's video is a little bit more of a reaction-y sort of video from an unlikely source. So those that don't know, Isaac Butterfield is an Australian comedian who sometimes treads a line of what's appropriate, what's even safe for work. Some of their videos, they explore some content from other creators, if you catch my drift, as well as just having his opinion out there. Now, that opinion isn't quite what everybody in this day and age would follow. And you know what? Sometimes even myself included, he goes a little bit too far, maybe with some things, but it's good to have that opinion. Now, when his video came up for the world's most dangerous man, I was intrigued.
In this video, I'm going to answer a terrifying question. Who is the most dangerous man in the world? Is he a politician? A warlord? No, it is this man, Stephen Bartlett, host of the podcast Diary of a CEO.
So you can see right from the bat, Isaac gets straight to the point with a lot of his things. Often outrage culture gets into. So here we're talking about the podcast Diary of a CEO. Now this wasn't even on my radar. So thank you, Isaac, for bringing us to my awareness. A wealth of information to that people want to silence. And that's happening a lot these days as well with over-censorship of everything. So I love that he stands for this. I didn't expect him to delve into this realm of alternate facts around health, but here it is.
But he has been labelled dangerous, and here is why. He has many interesting humans on his show. Some experts in particular fields, others very successful in business or sport. And he has cultivated a large following, probably of like-minded people who join in on each and every episode. Who knows what mis and disinformation will start to spread. And unfortunately for Stephen, that is exactly what has apparently happened, at least according to the mainstream media. You see, he's had some people on that have started to spread some mistruths. And these people have attacked trusted institutions like Big Pharma and Big Food. How dare they? And
because so it's easy to see where Isaac stands on this. Yeah, he follows a ketogenic diet himself due to health concerns that he's had. So it's quite obvious right off the bat that, once again, this is the big names around the place, like Pfizer, for instance, trying to shut things down.
Stephen Bartlett accused of amplifying dangerous health claims on his podcast. And I love the way that this article starts. It starts with the word experts. Who were these fucking experts? Experts say podcasts contained unfounded claims, including that evidence-based medication is toxic for patients. All right, fine. Let's just ignore the fact that medications can be toxic. Sure. Is facing questions by fucking who? After guests on his podcast put forward unfounded claims, for example, that cancer can be treated by following a ketogenic diet. Now, I am someone who is very, very pro ketogenic diet, okay? I started doing it because of a condition that I have that is related to epilepsy. It's in the same family, not quite, but similar enough. Easier to say that it is. And I found out that a lot of children and a lot of now older people have been treating, and I'm not saying you should do this, treating their epilepsy with a keto diet. So I thought I'd try that. A byproduct of that is I got a lot healthier, I lost a lot of weight, and it did seem to help. All I'm saying is it does have an effect on the body. That's all I'm saying. But obviously, I'm a comedian, not a fucking doctor, so don't listen to me. But I do know this. I do know that tumors, pretty sure that's what cancer has something to do with, love sugar. They love glucose, feed off it. So one would think if you cut the glucose supply to the tumors, maybe they would not be as abundant or healthy, right? To the point where in the 1920s, there was a noticeable dip in cancer patients' glucose. Even though they followed the exact same diet they were following prior to the cancer diagnoses. Why was this dip there? Why was the blood sugar going down? Well, it was almost like that type of energy component of food was being recruited by somebody else in the body. In this case, maybe the tumor.
Imagine that. You change your diet, you can change your health. Rather than eating all the processed crap, if you stick to something more natural, whether even that's more natural these days or whatever else as well, given our GMO foods and what those foods are eating as they become our food, it's still healthier than all the packaged pre-garbage that a lot of us
ingest. A little bit. And there is a lot of scientific evidence to suggest that maybe this helps. But go to a doctor. Talk to the doctor about it. Don't listen to me. I'm just saying listening to people when they come up with differing advice isn't a bad thing, because the advice that we receive off our doctors right now at one point might have been seen as a bit insane. This is how ideas start. This is how science progresses. Someone comes up with an idea. A lot of people say poo-poo. They quash it. They say that's silly. And then sometimes that idea was actually correct. So we've got to have these debates. We can't just shut them down because it goes against the fucking narrative. And it's not just me saying that without anything backing it up. There's peer-reviewed studies on this. Combining this dietary approach, they're talking about keto, with standard chemotherapeutic and radiotherapeutic options may help improve tumor response, and further research is desperately needed. That is the key point. Further research is needed. So let's not ignore it. Let's not say we can't talk about it. Let's look into it. But that is not what is happening at all. In fact, there's an investigation into his podcast by the BBC World Service, and they found that guests were faced with little or no challenge. Apparently he didn't push back hard enough. Experts, fuck me, the BBC that failing to question these disproven claims was dangerous because it created a distrust of conventional medicine. Oh, heavens no. I don't know.
So that's pretty much the reason I see people like Isaac existing. Same thing. Having an idea, taking it out there, and putting it out to people creates a conversation, a debate even around that. Creates new ideas, creates new ways of thinking, creates that level-headedness. Because if you go too far one way, in this case with pharmaceuticals, and we just end up all drugged up, all unhealthy as hell, all with side effects out the wazoo, with everything, like even from the diet that we're ingesting. So rather than someone just coming and saying, hey, why don't we starve the cancers of sugar? Won't that help? Not such a radical idea or way of thinking. And in the current health climate as well, why aren't we looking for alternate things that can help with viral infections on a global scale? Nicotine has been seen to help. Not saying that everybody should take up smoking, but there may be other ways to ingest it as well that may give some relief from those of you who are suffering with chronic symptoms from this virus. Creating other ideas around social norms as well, which Isaac does a lot of. Not so much fat shaming. I firmly believe you should love the body you're in, but you should always try some form of self-improvement to get towards something healthier that's going to give you longevity, not push your joints into something or just mask those symptoms that you're facing. Something that will actually do something as well as strengthen your resilience into saying no to those chips, no to those chocolates, no to just masking the symptoms, actually helping yourself, and research into that as well. So I'm always big on a conversation starter.
In that 8-month window, some guests billed as health experts shared accurate information, but most were spreading misleading claims. These included that the V word, conspiracies stating that COVID was an engineered weapon. Yeah, that is a crazy idea. Anyway, here is a completely unrelated article from like 3 days ago. Another misleading health claim was that polycystic ovary system, PCOS, autism, and other disorders can be reversed with diet.
What if the vaccinations that went around the world that we were all sort of coerced into taking, many people stood on their ground with it. So well done, guys, for that. If the vaccine was so good, why would Fauci get a presidential pardon? For what crime did he commit? Shouldn't he be given something more heroic rather than a presidential pardon for any future accusations or trials that go against him and his companies? Wouldn't a peace prize or something more along those lines for saving all those lives be more in line with that? It's one of those things that makes you think, what the hell is actually going on around the place?
The ideas that we live our life by, or the way we operate health-wise, shouldn't be bought and paid for by the highest bidder, in this case, Big Pharma. Because over the last decade, if we have learned anything, it is that the people who run these giant pharmaceutical companies and these giant food corporations and the people in government are not to be trusted as much as perhaps we thought they should. Ladies and gents, let me know what you think in the comment section below.
And so then that just wraps it up. Like, it's free speech does need to happen, People need to have ideas. We can't live in that echo chamber because it is a dangerous thing, regardless of the topic, whether it be health, whether it be wealth, whether it be just societal issues as well. Because once we go too far down that way, if you're not challenged by those ideas, when something comes up and it's potentially wrong or something else as well, your whole life crumbles before you. Don't surround yourself up in an echo chamber. Keep your mind open. Keep challenging your ideas, your thoughts, and working towards something more holistic, even. Thanks, Isaac, for that one. That was great. Now, there's a new podcast for me to listen to as well. Something that wasn't in my awareness, brought to me by someone who's, often outrageously misconstrued in Facebook groups and everything else as well as being just a horrible, horrible person. No, comedy needs to push those boundaries as well, because otherwise, who else will? If we're not challenged and thinking or pushed in our ideas and growth, things don't change. We don't grow as ourselves or as a society. So once again, thank you. Check out Isaac's channel. Check out Diary of a CEO. And yeah, thank you for watching this one. Remember to like, share, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. And I'll see you in the next video.